Hey, what up, what up, what up, what up? I promise y'all one day I'm gonna come up with like an actual intro or like an actual, like tagline or something to start these videos off, but right now I have no clue. So you get what you get on a week to week basis. Cause I don't know. Anyways, today I want to talk about the truth about, the process. Everybody says, and we always hear it's a process. Trust the process. People be like, oh, moving in silence, or you see the post with the caption, the process, and it's like, what does that even mean? Like, what are you even talking about? Or half the time it's like, nigga, you ain't doing nothing. And it's like, they might actually be doing something. So I wanted to talk about the process today and what I have learned over the past few months about this whole process. Like, so we all, go through a process to get to where we want to be or where we need to be, or to reach our goals. And that process could be months, it could be years, it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 20 years. For some people it takes a little bit longer than other people to get to where they want to be. And what I didn't realize until like recently, or what I had failed to understand previously, was that the process really starts when you decide to take the time to invest and put the work into yourself, into your surroundings, into your environment, and into what you want to achieve. For instance, like, my process really just started. Like, I've been thinking I knew what I wanted to do. I've been thinking that, I've thought I have taken the time to, know me and blah, 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 and all of that. But really, my process just started like a few months ago. Really, to be honest, probably when I got pregnant is kind of when my process started. And it started at my lowest point. I would consider the past 8 months or so my lowest point in life to date. No, I ain't got the coronavirus. I just there's a big ass tree outside my house, and like this pollen, it's tearing me up. So if you hear me sniffing and stuff, it ain't the coronavirus. It's the pollen. But anyway, so back to the process. It's hot. Sorry. Anyways, back to this process though. So I finally, when this pregnancy came about, and like I said, it was accidental, unexpected, it took me to a place of darkness, guilt, shame, hurt, just some dark, deep depths that I've never experienced before. I've experienced hurt and pain my whole life. That's nothing new. Just because I didn't really learn self-love early on. As I said before in the first video about, how this whole thing came about. When I was a kid, I got bullied, and the only people that were telling me I was pretty or smart or whatever was pretty much just my parents. Like, most of the time, people were making fun of me, calling me skinny, calling me ugly, saying that I, wasn't this, wasn't that, wasn't popular enough, wasn't good enough, wasn't, I didn't know how to dress, whatever the case may have been. So I didn't really learn self-love early on. Hell, I'm 26 and I still am learning how to love myself, how to make sure that I'm not speaking negatively on myself or putting myself down or making, negative prenotations, if you will, about myself and about what the result will be of things that I know that I want to achieve. So like I said, this past 8 months and when I got pregnant this time really started my process, and I really started to understand that, like, your process, first of all, it's not for anybody else to determine when it should start, when it should have started, how it should go, what it should look like, what it should be, and where you should end up at the end of it. Like, that's all something for you to decide. And honestly, that might take longer than what you might be in the middle of your process, or you might not know where you will end up, but you know that you're on your own journey. Like, the beginning of the process, what I realized is, like, the beginning of the process, a lot of times it starts in a time of struggle. A lot of times it starts when you get knocked completely on your ass, and then you realize, oh, okay, like, I thought I was low, but this is the lowest of the low, and I have to, in order to survive, in order to move forward, in order to be better, I have to take the time to invest in myself, invest in my mental health, invest in my my physical and mental well-being, and my emotional well-being. Like, you have to really understand that you shouldn't be racing anybody but you. And it really shouldn't even be a race. It should be a climb. It's the climb. No, I'm just kidding. But, like, seriously, I never really understood, when people say, oh, it's a journey, it's a climb, it's, until I'm here on my own journey. And it's like, this is phase 1 of my journey. And phase 1 looks like, for me, it's like the seed, the seed analogy. You plant a seed, and really, essentially, that seed has to die before it takes root in the soil. It has to experience darkness. It has to experience ickiness and wetness and moistness before it takes root into the soil that it was planted in, and then grows and fights through that soil and fights through the things that are holding it down in order to bloom into a beautiful, a bush of flowers. Let's not just even say one flower. Let's say the bush or the whole damn tree. You feel me? So for me, this is phase 1. And for me, phase 1 looks like I'm broke. And I'm going to be, this is just me being painfully honest. I'm broke. I live at home with my parents. I'm 3 kids in. I am not with my twins' father. I'm on my third pregnancy, 4th kid, with somebody who doesn't even really know who I am right now. Hopefully that changes, but that situation is fluid day to day. I'm not working. Most of any income that I have is either from help from my people or from things like me making my jewelry, which you can find at make.ufeel on Instagram, or sugar scrubs. People still, purchasing my sugar scrubs, which I haven't even been promoting like that. Or just other little side things, that I do. So that's where a lot of my income is coming from. I'm in a place where I'm trying to figure out I'm discovering the depths of my creativity and figuring out, hey, I actually love to paint more than I ever knew that I did. I'm discovering the different parts of my creativity and exploring those different parts and what I really like to do and what I really don't like to do. I like to make jewelry, but it's time consuming, and that's not just something it's not a everyday love. I don't really, right now, I'm in the midst of trying to find my purpose. I don't really know what I'm truly passionate about that I can't live without doing. I don't know. I'm in the midst of finding my purpose. Because I honestly don't know. I'm in the midst of trying to understand my triggers, understand the depths of why I accept certain, pain or certain treatment from people. I'm in the process of trying to, fully understand myself and what I look like outside of motherhood, because up until now and thus far, motherhood has been the thing that I cling to most, because it's the thing that I'm good at. It's the thing that everybody commends me on. It's the thing that I've gotten consistent praise for. So I'm trying to figure out, who am I outside of being a mom? I'm in school for IT. I didn't even know IT. I wasn't even thinking about information technology until I got pregnant and was like, well, shit, I have to do something. Like, I have to accomplish something. So I'm damn proud of these 3 IT so far, 3 IT certifications that I have gotten, and I'm working my ass off to get another 5, and then move on to possibly cybersecurity. But right now, I'm in school for getting my IT certifications. Like, I'm discovering my path, and that is, to me, is phase 1 of my process. Like, I'm not in as deep as I was in November. Well, yeah, November is, I think, when it was really, really bad. But this is what this looks like for me. Phase 2 for me, I think, will look like concrete planning. It'll look like starting to execute, getting a job, putting the kids in daycare, planning my real path and my future, starting to really hone in on the craft that I choose to go hard at, because I'm gonna have something on the side. I don't know, I'll work a job, I will, and that's fine if I'm making good money, but I can't do just one thing, and I can't just work for somebody else getting their money and they giving me a chunk of it. Like, eventually I need to have my name on a door, in my own office, somewhere, doing something. What that something is right now, I don't know, but that's a part of the process. Like, for me, like I said, the process of your process depends on when you say, look, I have to get it together. I have to take the time to truly be to myself, to get to know myself, to get to love myself, to get to understand what I'm passionate about and what my purpose is, and then work on that and take my time and understand that the journey isn't about it's not about how fast you get to that end point. It's about what you learn and what you create and what you solidify within yourself on the way. I realize Lizzo, super, I don't know if y'all follow her, super, the Crayon Case creator, you know, just most of your favorite successful people. I've been listening to Eric Thomas and his crew, the top motivational speaker in the world. They talk about their process. Maul, his homie, has been in real estate for 20 years. He's just now released his class on real estate. It's called Make Real Estate Real. Eric Thomas, they was talking about they've been working since 2006. Like, Lizzo said it took her 10 years to get to where she's at. So what we see is the tip of the iceberg, and a lot of times I think we get caught on the tip. And it's like we really have to learn to look deeper than that and realize how long the process can be. It's not just no overnight thing. It's not just, I'm gonna do this and all of a sudden, and then the next year, boom, it's gonna happen. I for whatever reason thought like that. I thought like, I'm gonna start this, I'm gonna do this, and it's gonna be successful within a year. Those stories are few and far between. Those stories are rare, and those are people who either cheated their way to the top, or they've been prepping and had the resources to achieve those things off the rip. So the truth about the process is that, first of all, you have to look within yourself. You have to start with yourself and your surroundings and get to truly understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, your, what you can give and what you can't give, what you're triggered by, with your past, your past, just everything, your mental health, have you dealt with your past, the things that haunt you from your past. You have to take the time to get yourself right, and then you have to take the time to invest in yourself and figure out what it is that you want to do. Figure out what your purpose is, hone in on your purpose, and work on that. Invest in that. The process looks different for everybody, though. My process is going to be different from my son's process. It's going to be different from my best friend's process. It's going to be different from my baby daddy process. It's going to be different. Everybody's process is different. So know that, understand that. Stop looking at what other people are doing. Stop looking at what other people are saying. Stop looking at where other people are in their life. Stop looking at what your friends and what your colleagues and what your classmates from high school and stop looking at what everybody else is doing, because you don't know what it took for them to get to where they are. You don't know the process that they went through. You don't know what their process entailed. You don't know the hard shit that they went through. And if you do, then that should be a clue to you as to how everybody is different. Everybody goes through their own shit. Everybody's process is different. And some people make it look easy. And that's on, some people can do that. They can make life look easy. They can make it look like the sweetest piece of cake. I hate pie, so cake. But it's not that. Stop looking at the tip of the iceberg. That's how the Titanic sank. They only saw the tip. They didn't look at what was underneath the water. That's the shit that you need to look at within yourself and within other people. So, this has been Car Talks with B. As always, thank y'all for tuning in and listening. I'm here to be heard, not really seen. So, just listen to the things that I'm saying. Make sure y'all, like, comment, share, please. If you have a moment, share this on your timeline, on your Instagram, on your stories, or wherever. Share, like, comment, blah blah blah. And I'll catch y'all next week. Peace.